Hi, I'm Ed, and today I'm going to be replacing the Lippert jack that I've been using on my trailer, my Mallard M185 for the last 6 years. This is kind of an industry standard a lot of us use, but OutfitR ended up reaching out to me and said, hey, we've got this other jack that has some awesome pretty new features. They're patent pending and everything. It's going to be make it to, it'll raise up higher, also operate faster, and looks like it's a little bit of a smaller design. So I'm going to be doing a benchmark test between this standard Lippert versus the OutfitR power jack. So let's get started. Okay, so before I get too far into this, when I did the initial install of this particular jack, so we have one power wire here, but there's no ground wire, and so what I had to do is I had to file remove some of the paint right here by the bolts on the frame, so that way I can get the negative connection, so that way this jack could function. Not a big deal, but it's one of those things. It's like if you don't think to do that, it's easy to figure to ask yourself, why is this thing not working, especially how expensive it is. It obviously has all these different ports and everything for emergency. I can move it up and down and everything. But one of the things, before I get too started on this, is here is the cover. Now keep in mind, I live here in the desert. The sun is brutal here. I've seen PVC tubing that is supposed to be UV treated turn completely black. So the sun is brutal. You can see my little bricks right here. They're supposed to be this bright orange, and they've kind of turned into like a creamy white. This is the cover that came with my Lippert power jack, and it's like a leather material on the outside. And I don't want to fault them too much because it's just a cover. I can easily replace this, but I do just want to point out that this particular material looks like it's going to fall apart over a number of years, and in fact it did, because after 6 years of use and abuse from the rain and from the brutal sun, it's started to create these problems here. So obviously the waterproofing of the unit, whatever's underneath this, is very important. This is just kind of keep the sun from beating down on it. The bag for this OutfitR type seems to be a bit more rigid. It's not the leather or imitation leather, whatever that is. This is more of a like a threaded woven, like a cloth. It's seems to be some pretty high-end material. So maybe after 10 years, I think it's going to last a bit longer than this leather stuff. So that's already looking positive for me. But do want to go ahead and point out. Obviously, this thing, it still works great, but one of the things is it's slow. So we're going to be going and doing a test. I've already brought the leveling jacks, or stabilizing jacks up, and we're going to go ahead and just bottom this guy out, and then we're going to go ahead and see how long it takes to raise all the way up, and then we'll go ahead and do a motion check to see what the distance of this particular Lippert jack does before we get into the other OutfitR jack. So, but the number that I really care about is right here at the bottom, which is 5 inches, because that is the bottom end. This is 5 inches from the ground to the bottom of my frame. Okay, now that we have our low point measured and everything for our Lippert jack, we're going to go ahead and start a stopwatch, and we'll go ahead and yep, that's all the way at the bottom. So ready and go. And there it is. 2 minutes and 18 seconds from the very bottom all the way to the very top. And this is sitting on my driveway. This is my Mallard M185, so standard tongue weight for this particular unit. I do not have my batteries on the front, so the tongue is actually a little bit lighter than a factory M185, but so just trying to give you guys direct comparison so you guys can understand what exactly I'm dealing with here. Tanks are up here, they're full, and yeah. So 2 minutes, 18 seconds was the clock to get all the way to the top where it tops out. All right, roughly 23 inches. Okay, so now that we have our baseline measurements and even a time measured as well for how long it takes to go from all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top, that should be our loaded, actually where the motor is working the hardest. We have that was 2 minutes, 18 seconds. So here is the OutfitR power jack right here. The OutfitR is shorter from the top of the tongue up to the top of the unit itself. LED lights. There's 3 LED lights that turn on within this within the Lippert And the OutfitR looks like it has 6 LED lights. Looks like it's more of a broader pattern. So it's probably going to be a lot brighter than the one I was replacing it with, previous one. So one of the other things I do notice on this is there's a label here on the bottom that tells you do not retract past that certain point. Kind of like the fact that they at least put that on there, because I don't know how many times I've gone to past the point, or at least hit the point on the Lippert, and always worried if I'm causing any damage to it or not. So, anyways, the other thing is, because it is a little bit shorter, and it looks like maybe 1 or 2 inches. It doesn't come out as far. This is kind of important to me as well, because when my Forerunner back hatch opens, I cannot open it all the way because the jack is in the way. So I have hopes that with this 1 or 2 extra inches that are available right here, that I'll actually be able to open that back hatch. So we'll see. So got my wire disconnected. One of the things I do notice on the Lippert right away is it at least has a 30 amp fuse inline on the wire, versus this other one does not. But hopefully, if they take a look at this, they may see this and may add that on. So, but we are at a point now where we should be able to just lift this right off. There we go. Okay, so now here is my OutfitR jack. Go ahead and, oh, look at that. This has an adjustable foot base, so if you adjust this correctly, you can get an extra few inches of rise out of this thing. So I'm not sure you can see this right here, but there's the foot. I'm just hold the pin out, and there we go. So there's a little bit extra rise. That's kind of a nice feature. Kind of gives me a little bit of confidence that the foot is going to be a little bit more stable as well. So it's a bit smaller in diameter than my old foot. Okay, moving forwards. There we go. Okay, so obviously I still have to bolt these all down and everything, but just taking a look at the wire here. Again, this does have a negative wire as well as a positive, so it's not dependent on that good frame connection where you have to file some of the paint off. So that also means I need to terminate my black wire into something. So here is my red wire here, and then my black wire. Oop, where'd it go? There we go. Here it is. So we can go ahead and attach this straight to this little lug here. Again, I ended up moving my batteries inside, so I can easily reuse this guy. But I will need to go ahead and get a spade for the positive, because these are bolt points up here. So if you are connecting this into your trailer where you do have your batteries up here, it shouldn't be that big a deal, because you just matter opening the spade lug if you have one, and then just stuff this extra wire in there and then close it up. I'll go ahead and reroute this, that way all the wire goes down into this this little tube here, so it's a little bit nicer and neater. Okay, so I got my spade connector on my wire. This is the old wire from the Lippert jack. So I know this is something that's rather minor, rather stupid, and really easy to go ahead and mitigate, but just something that I noticed. The old wire did not have a spade on there, and it's just bare wire that, I'm not sure if it was stripped or not, but yeah, just ready to go, and I just had to put a spade on and then slide it onto the little ports up here on the front of my trailer. This other one, this is the spade I already moved, but the wire was already pre-tinned, so if I want to, I can go ahead and get my solder iron right here and just kind of heat this and then let it bond properly to this connector. This just tells me there's a little bit more effort going into something as simple as tinning a wire to make sure it's a good electrical connection. Again, minor, but I noticed this. Good job, OutfitR. Still have to obviously bolt this down, so I'm not going to be jacking all the way up and down yet, but okay, there's a light right there. This is hard to tell because this is obviously the daylight, but this right now obviously seems like it's a bit brighter. So, but I have another video I'm gonna go ahead and show right now the test between both of these lights. LED light. Quick note: take a look at your old foot and realize that the new one is significantly taller than than the previous one, the Lippert one that I was at least using. So if you're in a similar situation, before you put those bolts down to secure the jack onto the tongue, make sure that you have your foot on there, because obviously in this particular state, I can't lift it up and down with the bolts removed. And 3 for 3. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and raise this up and get my foot set. I'm gonna go to the highest setting. That was straight factory, but obviously keep in mind that because of the different hole position pins, I can put the foot into a different position, so that way I'm not having to wait for it, as well as get that extra lift available. Let me go ahead and take a quick measurement on that. Okay, so here's the bottom end using the OutfitR. Oh, look at that. Looks like the bottom of my tongue is roughly 4 inches. We're all the way at the bottom. Let's go ahead and start our timer and go. There we go. Minute 34 seconds from bottom to top. All the way to the bottom of the tongue. This is about 22. Okay, so for anybody that is kind of hawk-eyeing and paying attention to the numbers, I'll go ahead and show the whiteboard in just a moment here. But this thing has 1 inch lower, but it also doesn't go up as high by 1 inch. So it has roughly similar characteristics of the other jack. However, it has an adjustable foot. The other one does not have the adjustable foot, so I can gain an extra 4 inches straight out of the gate just by adjusting the bottom here. So as long as I'm not using it to support weight, I can go ahead and bring it up, and I can go ahead and adjust that jack and gain the extra 4 inches, and that's significant, which means I won't need to use these things in order to be able to hook up safely to my vehicle. All right, so now I'm adjusting, going back up with the extended foot in place. That should give us the extra 4 inches. So this is still, it's a manual addition. However, again, if I was already going to be using the stupid bricks, then putting the foot in the alternate position, I think that's actually better and probably safer than putting it on plastic and just letting it sit there. Okay, so now this is maximum with the foot, which now goes up to roughly 26.5. Okay, so here are all the numbers for my comparison here. So Lippert bottomed out at roughly 5 inches versus the OutfitR. I was able to bottom out for the short range of 4 inches. And then obviously I have going all the way to the top, there's 23 for the top out on Lippert. That's to the bottom of my tongue frame, and then 22 inches for the OutfitR. So it looks like the range of travel is roughly the same between these. However, that extended foot gives us an extra 4.5 inches. So my range of travel now is adjustable, so now I can get that 4.5 inches extra height. I was able to get all the way to 32 inches to the bottom, 26.5 to the bottom of my tongue. So that's the clearance from there to the ground. And the time it took to actually get there, so 2 minutes and 18 seconds, which is 138 seconds, versus the OutfitR did it in 1 minute 38, which is 98 seconds. So that is a 29% faster. Also, just look at this. You can go ahead and cross-compare this to, like, say, Amazon and stuff like that. But the cost between the Lippert, roughly $209 on Amazon right now, versus the OutfitR website, I can get that currently listed for $180. Okay, so now doing a direct comparison between these and looking at some of the major key differences between these. Obviously, we have this similar travel range. However, when you add the extra 4.5 inches on the foot, we get an extra 22.5 inches of full travel. Again, I can get that extra 4.5 inches, which means because that's adjustable, I don't need the stupid bricks for hooking up to my vehicle. Other things that were the OutfitR told me about was this is supposed to be 1.5 times faster, taking about, say, 30 seconds. I'm not sure how they did the math on that one, but I did notice a 30% improvement on real-world speed differences. So 30 seconds, no, it was more like a minute 38, but compared to the other one, which was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. This one is also IP58 rated, so looks like it can stand a bit more moisture and everything. So I'm not as concerned about this one. This other one here, it's supposed to be water resistant, waterproof, and everything. Some of the similar ratings. However, that was all contingent upon. However, that was all contingent on having this on there, because when you look, these switches are exposed, water could get inside them, and so if the bag ends up deteriorating in the sun, what good is your waterproof rating, right? It's not. Versus this guy looks like he's waterproof regardless of the bag, because the one that they included, it will seep water through. They're not exactly concerned about having the bag as part of the waterproof safety rating, so that's a plus for Outfitter. Let's see, obviously it comes with this right here for manual crank, so it just goes in through right here through the top port. And then the LED lights, I'm still going to go ahead and, I haven't seen the nighttime results on this one yet, but we've already put the comparison in the video. The nighttime, so the LED differences between these, this is 3 LED nodes here versus the 6 LED nodes on the Outfitter. So that is the major points for differences. Again, I also noticed the black wire that comes on the Outfitter, so I don't have to file away anything nor be able to make that electrical connection. And then it's just really convenient to have that 4-inch lift down on the bottom. And then this guy is a little bit smaller as well. So factor all that in, the fact that it's a cheaper price, this is a win. This looks like an awesome jack. I really look forward to testing this out on some upcoming trips. One more thing I wanted to point out on this is apparently there's some patent pending design. I'll go ahead and put some of the images here on the screen so you can kind of take a look at what I'm talking about. But apparently it's a mechanical ball mechanism that's patent pending that is part of the braking system. So when you're going up and down, it will stop and it'll kind of lock it into place. So it's not going to go anywhere, but it's a different technique. And I believe that's one of the reasons why the motor does move as quickly as it does, because it is a bit of a different design from the Lippert. Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining me on this particular adventure of replacing my Lippert jack with this Outfitter jack, and this is going to be amazing. Much faster and easier, especially when the kids are trying to help me, and you know how that goes when you're trying to load and everything. Anyways, if this was helpful to you at all, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Share with a friend. By the way, don't forget to check out, there is a discount code down in the link in the description, so make sure you get that to be able to kind of save a few bucks as well. And happy camping.